Hey, UFC fans. So, we got a lot to talk about here today. UFC 249 has now been confirmed that it will be still going on, which is good news. Um, Bad news to pretty much everybody in the fan base. As you all may know, Khabib Nurmagomedov will not be fighting Tony Ferguson at UFC 249 due to international flight risk. He's still back in Russia, and basically, they will not permit him to leave due to the coronavirus pandemic that is going on. So, on 2 weeks' notice, Justin Gaethje has been thrown into the fight with Tony Ferguson, and it is now being held for the interim lightweight championship. So basically, it seems that the winner of that will probably eventually fight Khabib Nurmagomedov for the undisputed title. Now, a lot of people are disappointed because Tony Ferguson versus Khabib has been scheduled 5 times now, and each time the fight has fell through. They're the two most decorated active lightweight competitors, probably the most decorated ever as far as resumes goes, who they've beaten, and win streaks. And we just really want to see those two fight each other. But the good news is that Justin Gaethje is one of the most exciting fighters in MMA. Tony Ferguson is one of the most exciting fighters in MMA. And this is another dream fight that we're really getting, honestly. It really has potential to be one of the best fights ever. Like, neither one of them are the type to shy away from violence, contact, and all that. So it's a lot to still be excited about. And just the fact that UFC 249 will still be held. Dana White has recently come out and said that he's basically been able to secure a location, an island, excuse me, to where he'll be able to hold fights. He said he secured it for at least 2 months, and he's going to be just pumping out fights after fights after fights. He said I think they'll have all their international fights there, which is good. And with the rumors of who wants to fight, who's been coming up, we may have some pretty good fights lined up. Another one, besides the one that I already mentioned, between Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, that I hope to see soon is Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman for the welterweight championship. They've both been going back and forth saying that they're ready to fight. So to me, it only feels like it's a matter of time before that fight gets called and scheduled, and we get that underway. Another bout that a lot of people have been clamoring for past couple years, Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. They both said they wanted to fight each other for a very long time. Both of them have been calling each other out. And yeah, hopefully we get that. I mean, I just want to say kudos to the UFC, Dana White, and all the brass for just being able to find a solution. Basically, the way they're going to handle it is everyone who is coming into the island will get tested for coronavirus. And, there's going to be no audience, no fans. So they basically find a way to make this work. I think it's easier when it comes to combat sports because you only need a limited number of people in the space. You really just need a ref, the 2 fighters, and training. You don't have to have a big crowd or anything. It's not like it's 5 players on the court or 11 players, then you got another 11 players on the bench. So this is just overall just good news to hear for sports fans, I feel like, and UFC fans. Hopefully, the boxing commissions can find a way to follow suit off Dana White's example, because I think this could be just good overall. I mean, we've seen examples at WrestleMania, which, by the way, I'll do a video about later, reviewing WrestleMania, letting you know my thoughts, so wrestling fans be on the lookout for that. But yeah, Vince McMahon's been able to, have all the wrestlers stay at the Performance Center and been able to still put shows out weekly and still do WrestleMania, even though they split into 2 nights. So, we got still some organizations that are still finding a way to keep things flowing, which is always good to see. Backtrack to the whole Habib situation. I see a lot of people that feel that Habib was being scared and saying he pulled out because he didn't want to fight Tony Ferguson. And you always are going to get that reaction when people pull out of a fight or aren't able to make it, which doesn't really make sense to me, especially in this case, because like I said, they've been scheduled to fight each other 5 times. There's been 2 times where Habib has had to pull out due to injury, but there's also been 2 times where Tony Ferguson's been out to pull out to injury. So it isn't like it's just been Habib who's not showing up. Both of them has had some mishaps. I don't think either one of them are scared to fight each other. You know, they're 2 of the best fighters in the world. Excuse me. And yeah, that's just, to me, is a ridiculous narrative to even say. The reason being that I think this situation happened is because originally the fight was scheduled to happen here in America. But then with all the coronavirus outbreak happening, UFC, obviously they had to find a new location. And they just recently, I think as of 2 days ago, have actually confirmed where it was going to be. You know, there were rumors that it would happen like in Saudi Arabia, somewhere overseas, and Habib basically in his mindset was like, okay, if it's not going to be happening in America, then I can go back to Dagestan, that's his hometown, and just continue training there with my original team, which makes sense in the grand scheme of things because, you know, you don't have a location anyway. You might as well go train where you're comfortable. And I think it was just unfortunate that, you know, with flight problems and, you know, the whole epidemic going on, that he wasn't able to fly out to be able to have the Tony Ferguson fight. But I am still excited that Justin Gaethje took the call. He's a phenomenal fighter. Like I say, he's never scared to get in there. And this just proves how staying ready can pay dividends for your career. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on, you know, the state of things in the UFC. Let me know what fights you guys want to see coming up. How you feel about the Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson fight. Who you may feel is going to win. And yeah, that's enough. Thanks for listening. And I'm out.